Atin ang makakausap ngayon live via Zoom si dating Philippine Ambassador to Israel Petronila Girly Garcia na kasalukuyang nasa Tel Aviv. Nagsilbi siyang ambassador doon noong 2009 hanggang 2011 at before that naging Consul General or Congen mula 1993 hanggang 1995. Magandang gabi po sa inyo, Ambassador.
Magandang gabi naman sa inyo. Kamusta naman kayo dyan?
Dapat ata ma'am kami po yung magtanong sa inyo, no? Kamusta po kayo dyan ngayon? You are visiting friends, right ma'am? And kailan po kayo nandyan sa Israel, sa Tel Aviv?
No, I'm here to visit my son. My son
okay.
is an Israeli Filipino. He's married to an Israeli and he has dito po siya nakatira, dito po siya nagtatrabaho, dito po nakatira yung apo ko. At dumating po ako dito nung August 15 para mag-celebrate nung birthday ng aking apo, tapos mag-stay ng konti, pero ito na nga po ang nangyari. Nagkaroon ng gera.
Okay, so your son living and working there, like you said. So August 15 po kayo nandoon and it's going to be almost 2 months. Kailan po kayo dapat umuwi?
Dapat umuwi na ako ng ng October 15. Pero dahil nga sa itong sitwasyon na to, it's a developing situation. It's really hard to say. And as you said earlier, some airlines have already canceled their flights. So all I can do is just wait and hope that things will subside. We are waiting for to be able to go back to our normal lives.
When it's interesting that you say we're waiting to go back to our normal lives, you do think that it can still go back to what it was like before? Pwede pang bumalik sa ganoon?
Well, I think politically, I mean, a lot has been said about what has happened. Now, this has really changed so many things, and we still don't know what's going to happen down the road politically. But when I say go back to the normal lives here in Israel, ang ibig ko sabihin yung pagpunta sa schooling of the children. For example, my grandson, there's schools, they cannot go to school. Many people now work from home, and university, I think, has been postponed, no? So things are really, the situation is bad because the young people, they have been called back to the army. 80%, I think, of the military is there, and many of them are reservists. And I would like to say that there are several Filipino-Israeli soldiers out there, and magaling po sila. You can be proud of them.
Filipino-Israeli because, well, like your son, he's, like you said, Filipino-Israeli, married to an Israeli. So, for example, yes.
Marami ho kasi we've had Filipinos in Israel since the 70s, no? They started coming here to work for diplomats, but marami ho talaga nagstay. Many have made this their home. No, we have about 30,000 Filipino-Israelis. So talagang they would like to go. These are the people who are impacted by what's going on among our nationals, and they cannot. The businesses are closed or partially functioning. Kaya talagang we want to go back to our normal life.
30,000 Filipino-Israeli. So and living and working there already. And we're not talking about just the OFWs who are working there now, pero yung mga matagal na, like you said, ma'am, no, since the 70s nandoon na. Can you tell us, ma'am?
30,000. Excuse me. 30,000 Filipino-Israeli who are already permanent residents or citizens, and also OFWs. Combination po yan.
Okay, combined number. All right, ma'am, you are in Tel Aviv, like we said earlier. What exactly did you witness, and ano po yung pakiramdam of being right there in the middle of it all?
Nung Saturday morning, Shabbat, that was Simchat Torah, no? That's a holiday. Early in the morning, there were loud sirens and then explosions. We had to go to the bomb shelters, all of us, and then it was announced by the Prime Minister that Israel is now in a state of war. No, so obviously certain protocols are in place. So we all stayed indoors. Pero maririnig nyo ho, almost constant sirens and explosions ng bombs. But a lot of it, ayan ho, naririnig ho ninyo, there's a lot of explosions in the background po. Kanina ho, nung
Every few minutes
tanghali,
po ba, ma'am?
bigla kaming may narinig na siren.
Yung mga
Meron ho, may explosion sa background ho. I'm sorry you
Alright.
cannot hear it.
Yes, oo. Could you, the camera is on you right now, but pwede niyo po bang ipihit yung camera just to show us what direction the sound of the explosion is coming from? And can you point to it, ma'am?
The sound that goes to that's the Mediterranean Sea. Okay? And then if you go to naririnig ninyo, it's like thunder. Ano ho yan? Mga rockets po yan.
Okay.
Pero dahil walang siren, ibig sabihin ho nun, hindi ho palapit sa amin. Pero it might be going to another place. Yun, ayan na naman. There's a lot of rolling thunder. It's like thunder.
Okay. Rolling
Without the
thunder.
siren. Pag walang siren, ibig sabihin, ano ho yun? Malayo ho.
Okay.
Baka dun ho sa kabilang landing.
So every few minutes or every few seconds, you can hear explosions.
It just stopped. It's only stopping now. It's like a constant hum.
Okay. And this has been going on, like we said, since Saturday. Pero nung Sabado po, mas
Grabe.
mas marami. Kumbaga,
Grabe ho
more.
yun. Grabe ho yun nung Saturday, early in the morning. In fact, 2 blocks away from where I was living, shrapnel hit a building and it exploded. And that's Tel Aviv. I've been coming to Israel since 1993. I've witnessed a lot of wars. Ngayon pa lang po ako nakakita ng ganito katindi.
1993, 30 years ago, and this is the first time you've seen anything like this. And this has been going on, like we said, for 2 days already. And you've been describing the what's going on now as you can hear explosions, parang rolling thunder, so every few seconds or every few minutes. Like right now, ma'am. So we've been talking for like about 6-7 minutes within that span of time of the
Ayan
interview.
Na naman.
Ayan
There's
na naman
rolling
ngayon.
thunder again. It stops and then it starts again.
Okay, all right. A while ago po, you said that there were, of course, Filipino Israelis, and many of them, or some of them, might even be serving as reservists. Is that correct, ma'am? Did I get that right?
Yes. Yes.
And
Many of the young men who were born to Israeli Filipino families, young men and women, have been called back as reservists already. All people in that generation, in their 20s and 30s, they're there fighting.
In the reserve forces. Have you heard from their families how they are? Kamusta na po sila?
Hindi ho sila, pagka nasa gera po sila, hindi sila nagko-communicate. Pero nakakausap ko, I speak to one of them is my nephew. And I speak to my cousin regularly a few times. I've been speaking to her, and obviously everyone is really worried. But they're very confident that their children will come home. They're hoping and praying that their children will come home.
That's the most important thing, of course, no, for their children to come home.
Yes.
Just a while ago, Ma'am Girly, we were showing photographs that you took. We're going to show it again. Can you describe to us kung ano po yon? This one. Can you see it?
We had lunch, and then suddenly there was a siren. So everybody who was within the area ran. And the rule here is that all buildings must keep their doors open so that the bomb shelters are accessible to the public. So if you hear a siren, you run into any building and enter the bomb shelter. That is a mall. We were having lunch, and then suddenly there was a siren. Everybody ran to the parking lot. because the parking lot is reinforced and it serves as a bomb shelter. So
Parang
that's why
bunker.
the picture was taken.
All right. Okay.
And kakaawa po yung mga tao doon. Talaga merong iba umiiyak na talaga kasi sobra na yung stress.
Of course, stress and trauma, no? Yeah.
And worry. And then there's din talagang because you really see buildings getting hit.
Well,
And
final
this
words.
is the
Yes.
first time
Ma'am, that.
that it entered this far.
Like you said, you've been there.
It's-
You've been going to Israel
Yeah.
or assigned to Israel since 1993. Like we said earlier, Consul General 93 to 95, 2009 to 2011. Nag-ambassador po kayo dyan. You've been going back and forth. Your son lives there and works there, and you know many of them who are Filipino Israelis who live and work there. Some of them have been called. The young people have been called up to serve in the reserve forces. So this must be.
If I may just say,
Yes.
one of the most admirable things that I saw, and I think I could learn from this, is that as soon as they were under attack, you're aware that the politics here they're quite divided, but as soon as they were under attack, everybody united and they had to defend the country. And you can feel among the people here that there is trust and confidence that the Israeli Defense Force is really the best in the Middle East and it will protect us.
Former Philippine Ambassador
think-
to Israel, Girly or Petronila Garcia, Girly Garcia. Ma'am, thank you very much for joining us this evening. We hope that you will be all right together with your family there. Ingat po kayo, ma'am. We'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. That was former Philippine Ambassador to Israel, Girly Garcia.